Hi there, my name's Rich Boylan, producer for The Edge. With season 1 coming to a close, we wanted to take you behind the scenes of the show, as well as revisit some of the moments that made season 1 so awesome. So sit back, relax, and stay tuned as we take you behind the scenes of The Edge. So this is where we do all our editing for The Edge. We've all spent a lot of time here, obviously. This is my desk, and this is Scotty's. You'll notice I made Scotty's wallpaper on his screen, a picture from a concert we did. I play a little guitar in a metal band called Armafira. When you're editing, you get a lot of these 2, 3, 4-minute breaks, right, where something's rendering and you got time to kill. So I like to, play a little guitar, pass the time. This is my South Africa mug. So over here we got my buddy. What happens is, to create these white tigers or whatever, there's a lot of inbreeding, and unfortunately something like that happens. But he looks happy. Also, we have a upper deck card for our friend Louis DeBrusque. He's been in and out of the show over the last season. It's an older picture. So obviously, given the nature of the show that we do, we have hours and hours and hours of footage to deal with. So, we end up spending a lot of time here to make sure that we can put out the best possible show. In our pilot episode, Scott Sterling is on the hunt for a white-tailed buck. Now, it's never easy balancing a demanding office job, a family, and a TV show. But Scott scraped together every spare minute he had to hunt, and at long last, on November 13th, he got his chance.
He came right up in front of us, stopped him. All right. I made the shot. It looked like a great shot. He went straight out into the field, did a big giant loop, and then back in the bush. That was a good shot. That's really good blood. I got bubbles in it.
Got it, buddy. He's down.
He's not the biggest deer by any stretch, but he's got so much character, and I love the deer that have all of the gnarled up stuff. This is probably my most unique deer so far, so I'm really pumped. I'm really excited.
It was under a blood-red Alberta sky that Ryan Kohler set up his tree stand with his trusty cameraman Scotty B. They'd seen plenty of white-tailed bucks in the area, but never gotten a good shot at one, and the clock was ticking.
Out of the corner comes a whitetail, and I look, And I asked Scotty B, I said, what does he look like? And he says, oh, you know, it's not a shooter. I think he thought it was probably Hollywood again. And I looked and I saw that it actually didn't have a broken beam. You know, the G2 was there. So I thought, you know what? No, this is the one. Let's shoot this buck. It's a nice mature buck. Let's see if we can get a shot at him. So I anchored and drew back anchor and put my pin on the vitals and stopped him. Hey. I took a shot, and it's better to be lucky than good any day of the week. The arrow dropped right into his heart. He actually dropped down a little bit, and I heart shot him. And I mean, 3.5 weeks of hard work. We were pretty excited.
He's a weird angle. Come on down. Let's go get him. Nice 4x4 whitetail buck.
That was a really cool hunt. This big boy came in and we let him have it. Heart shot at 30 yards, pretty exciting. We've just hunted for 2 weeks, so myself and Scotty, the cameraman, we're getting pretty tired, and this was it.
It isn't easy to be an Edge team member. It can be both mentally and physically demanding. No one knows this better than Ryan, so we caught up with him at the gym to see how he prepares for hunting season.
That's tough.
This episode was a bit of a departure. We went back with Edge team member Helgi Amundsen and looked at a buck killed years before. But this was no regular deer. This was a 274-inch monster which became known as the Amundsen buck.
It was cold. It was cold. It was probably minus 28, 30, something like that. Because I know we were freezing our fingers. I took some pictures and it was cold.
I mean, I just right away just started running as hard as I could. I had probably 250 yards to get to the trees that they were on the other side of. So I'm running through the snow that's, you know, halfway up to my knees, and, you know, the toque went flying off, and I threw my mitts off and loading my gun and making sure there's a shell in there and put the safety on, and I vaulted over a fence and went crashing through the trees, and I crashed through the other side, and man, I was just, my heart went into my stomach. It was right around here somewhere. Actually, it was that big tree right there. Yeah, I ran through here, busted out to here, jumped out, and saw the one doe way down at the end there, and then the other doe, the hot doe, was going across the field and was almost at those trees over there. And that's when I heard him. He was back over there. I'd cut him off, and he was angling across the field here. And I jumped over to this tree right here, and then grabbed a hold of it. I clicked the safety off, and I was thinking, oh, what do I do? I mean, there he is, and every jump he took as he leaped forward, his head would bow down like that because the horns were so heavy. And as he's going, I'm like, oh, what do I do? Do I yell? Do I grunt? Do I whistle? I've got to stop this deer. And I'm just praying, oh my God, please make him stop, or I'm gonna have to start shooting on the run. And I was just getting ready to start shooting, and he stopped. And I found out afterwards that the doe had actually urinated there and left a bunch of scent. And he stopped right there, and he put his head down into the snow, and he raked the snow like this with his horns, and the snow went flying in the grass. And he grunted, and he started to spin around to challenge me. He must have thought I was another buck coming through the trees. And as he was spinning around, I put the crosshairs onto his shoulder, and I didn't even wait for him to stop spinning. I touched it off. And man, you never heard such a crack, pow, like that, and he just dropped. Yeah, right here. I didn't realize he was going to be the biggest deer in Canada. It was just an unreal feeling. And then, wow, you've got all these thoughts running through your brain, and holy cow. The first thing I did was I picked up the phone and I called my wife, and I just said, honey, I got him. And it was an amazing feeling she was so happy. And yeah, my life has never been the same since, and it's awesome.
It should be noted that this next hunt was the first one that had cameras rolling for the edge. After a hasty setup, Ryan and Scotty B lay in wait for a mule deer buck they'd spotted a short distance away. Watch what happens.
Well, it seems like we might have a deer down here. We spotted another buck that was just about to cross the road. So Ryan jumped out, crossed around the field, got in a position waiting for that buck to come across the road into another field. Can you see him?
Got him.
Oh, he's hit pretty good.
And the word is, we've got a hit. We'll see.
Okay, so we waited about an hour now. We'll see if this buck's down. I'm just gonna grab my bow here and then we'll sneak in along the blood trail and see if we can find him. There he is, dead right there. Woo! Yeah, baby. All right, nice velvet muley. All right, Louie, what do you think?
Hey,
Not a bad deer, not a bad
You know what?
muley.
they gave you the slip this morning, but you capitalized on this one. This is a nice buck. You took it with a nice distance shot too, and congrats, man, awesome.
Thanks, buddy.
But you know what? Listen to this. Guess who's up?
Watch out, Louis DeBrusque has a bow and arrow. If I was a mule deer, I'd run.
Ryan was joined that day by Edmonton Oiler and walking nightmare Steve McIntyre. Also out for a workout that day was UFC welterweight Ryan the Kid McGillivray, who was nice enough to jump in the ring and help the guys train.
I'm Ryan the Kid McGillivray from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. It's on season 13 of The Ultimate Fighter. We've been working with Ryan for the past few weeks. He comes in and hits pads, and he's getting pretty good. I think maybe he'll be in the UFC one day. And then he brought Mac down, and Ryan's good, but he doesn't hit as hard as Mac. My shoulders are gonna be sore for a little while.
It's winter, and anybody from northern Alberta knows what that means. Bitter cold. Ryan and Scotty brave the elements after Ryan gets another chance to go out and kill a buck on a supplemental tag. Once again, Ryan demonstrates some serious archery skills.
Here's where I get lucky. This buck decides to circle in. It goes around 30, 40, 50 yards. It comes right out into the meadow at about 65 yards. This is it, it's go time. I'm not gonna make a mistake this time. I've practiced far shots before. I've made some long shots, and this is by far the best and longest shot I've made in a whitetail buck, but there was no way this guy was getting away from me. Just go see if we can find a good blood trail. He's right there. He's right there. He's right there. Oh, he's a nice buck. Oh. Wow, he really got on this tree. Here he is. Thanks, Scotty, the cameraman. And yeah, 2010. Season is over, and we really did great this year. Really great season.
This may not be the biggest deer in the world, but it was the first for young James Sterling, who traveled to the Alberta-Saskatchewan border for his 12th birthday, and believe me, he didn't waste a second.
Oh boy, is that chilly. And James had just turned 12 within minutes. Finally, we found an assistant manager who knew what they were doing, got his tags at 12:35, and then drove all the way back to Provost.
Where?
Okay, so watch, if you're gonna get a shot, it's gonna be up on that ridge up there.
Okay, how far is that?
Got up to the top of this one ridge and walked down we walked down the hill a little ways, and where we were standing, we saw some movement off into the trees, and this doe came walking out right to the edge.
How far is that, Trev?
Want me to load my gun? Bed bolt in?
Yeah.
Only got one bullet. I missed her.
You got her.
I got her?
Yeah.
Woo!
You know, one of the coolest things as a father is being able to take your son out and teach him how to hunt and spend time in the woods with him. I said right then and there, the first time that I watched him harvest a great deer, was that if I didn't ever pull the trigger again and took him out, I'd be a happy man.
The shot was about 80 yards away, and I thought I made a good shot. I didn't know quite for sure. I thought it might be a little bit far back, but we waited about 5 minutes, and then we started tracking, and it took probably half an hour because the trail just zigzagged through the bush. This way, that way, this way, that way, blood, no blood, blood, no blood. And finally we found it 400 yards away. Done.
The sheer look of joy on his face, the sense of accomplishment, becoming a man, I suppose you could say, it's a fantastic feeling.
Okay, so let's pretend you're teaching me this to start.
Boxing is all well and good, but it was time for Ryan to take it out of the ring and into the octagon.
And shoot. Yeah. If I don't want to hit you, I'm going to get hit back.
I want to jump off.
Don't do that. Okay, but as soon as you do this, it gives me your arm. Bridge that way. Like that. Okay, how do you get up? Okay, I'm done then.
So that's it for season 1 of The Edge. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in, and wait till you see what we're doing in season 2.